Hey, welcome back to Cards and Comics. How's it going? How you flowing? All right, today we got a couple things going on. We got a big update. Cool thing just happened. Got a mail day. Cool cards just happened in the comics. Picked up a big purchase today out in the wild. Very cool. Went dumpster diving in my collection and found some interesting cards. And yeah, and I'll go over all that to you. First, I'm going to unbox this, and we'll do it after this. All right, and we're back, and I have an update, and it's big for me because I finally have my check out my card order that I've had in place for the last 6 months. Finally shipped today. I got the notification. And it's exciting for me because it's 155 cards. It's a lot of really, I don't say hot cards, but a lot of things like Marvel PMGs. It's a full set of PMGs from the last Fleur Ultra set. I believe it's Fleur Ultra X-Men. And it has a bunch of Young Guns and hockey cards in it too, like Suzuki's rookie card, Young Gun, which is selling really well right now. So a lot of cool cards coming my way. 155. So I'll have that unboxing pretty soon. So that's very exciting for me. But yeah, that's huge because I mean there's cards in there probably worth a couple, like at least 10 cards worth $300 to $500. I got a couple Gretzky autos. So yeah, there's a lot of big cards in there. So that's big. So that's getting something like that back is huge for me. After I've been waiting like 6 months to have it shipped. It's like you own the cards, but you don't actually own them because it takes 6 months for check out my cards to ship anything to you now. And I've heard people a lot worse stories. I saw another guy's channel where he was saying like, it's been since December. Mine was in February, so was it like, getting to 5 months, and he had his for 7 months. So yeah, it's not good right now for check out my cards. All right, so that's a big one. That's like my fun thing to look forward to for me and hopefully for you, because I'm going to share that video, and it's a lot of fun stuff. So hopefully you tune in because it's really diverse and there's a lot of cool stuff in that unboxing. So next is dumpster diving in my collection, and so these are cards I put in my boxes to go to the last card shows I've set up at. So they're priced. And so I love this because it just shows kind of how dumb I am sometimes with how I do things. So we'll start with this guy, Jacob deGrom. Hey, look, 2 rookie cards, $5. This one's $5, but I looked at this one, like, why is this holder different? And when I looked at it, I noticed there was something weird about it. So when I opened it up, and there's 2 Jacob deGrom rookie cards in that holder, not 1. So I was going to sell 2 deGrom Heritage rookies for $5. That seems like a bad idea. So today, anyway, and so now I found 3 Heritage deGrom rookie cards, all just basically pull from packs and put into holders. So these were all I had from box breaks I did back in the day. So that's cool to find those. I know they're selling really well. Obviously, if you get graded with PSA, it'll be worth more. I'll be talking about PSA in another video. I've got some very harsh words for what's going on with PSA right now. And it has nothing to do with their pricing. It has everything to do with, accountability and basically conflicts of interest. So I'll be talking about that in a video soon. More dumpster diving. Here is some Shohei Ohtani rookies. So none of these are going to be huge, but this one's fun. It's a refractor. The infamous Christmas set or holiday set. I believe this is the Series 2 Ohtani, then the Series 2 or just the regular Chrome, and there's a fun little Allen and Ginter. So I haven't even looked these prices up, but I'm assuming they're fairly expensive compared to what they were. Because if you look at what I had on there, $1, $2 for the Chrome. And these were all in the 50-cent boxes. So that's what I thought of Otani back in the day. That was just 2020. So a lot of things changed. So if you go to these card shows now and you go through those dumpster, or I don't call it dumpster diving, but go through the boxes, there's a lot of good stuff in there, man. I mean, we're all as dealers, we're doing comps before the show, setting our boxes up, and it's we're not trying to predict anything, and so like it is what it is, and so if it's $10 on eBay, it might be a $5 card at a show. Trying to move it, you might get a little deal on it, but that card goes to $200, like a Vlad Guerrero rookie or a DeGrom rookie. All of a sudden it's like, well, you sold a $10 card for $5, now it's worth 200, and that does happen. That's what makes a hobby fun. I know a lot of folks love that. So next up, let's start here with a card I just bought on eBay, but it was shipped from Check Out My Cards, and yeah, I just like this guy. Sean Manaea. I think he's a good pitcher. He's got some cool stuff, and he's a low end spec for baseball, and he's got some good stuff. And I saw him pitch, and I think he's got some potential. So Sean Manaea, patch auto or jersey auto, national treasure. So it's a low end, low cost spec. Next up is the card exactly as I received it. And 2 mail days in a row where I get a plain white envelope with a card that is basically not in a holder anymore. And I know it's not a big card, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, if you're going to do a plain white envelope shipping, then at least put a piece of tape on the freaking top loader. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just, I hate PWE shipping because this is the crap you get. The card's really not damaged too much, but it's the principle of the thing. It just looks terrible when you open it. I'm putting this set together, this UD Authentic set for my Onyx. I just love it. I opened a box of it. I just like the set. And obviously, the Jeter is a big card in the set. I'll be looking to get it at some point because I got kind of some news on Jeter because he's starting to be, well, not starting, he is a new collection. And, the way I start new collections is I create a box. And if I buy a box specifically for that player or that set or whatever, that signals to me like I've officially started a new collection. So I've officially started a Jeter collection, and you'll see some really cool updates in this one. Now this card here, it's a Johnny Ray from 85 Topps. It's not even graded that high. It's an 8.5, which is kind of a rare grade, but not a tough grade. But Johnny Ray grew up near my hometown. I met him as a kid. He was a good player. I don't care what anyone, he only played, I think, 6 or 7 years. He was runner-up to National League Rookie of the Year. And, he played the University of Arkansas on a national championship team. So, I mean, this guy was a good player. He hit 300 of the majors. I mean, being a local hometown guy for me, growing up as a kid, I kind of really love seeing somebody from my home area playing in the major. So I collect him as an adult, and I just see his cards pop up. I mean, this was literally like probably a $4 purchase, and one of the reasons I did it too, because obviously these kind of cards are never going to be graded again with PSA until maybe 2 years from now. I just feel like, I listened to the Nat Turner interview on Sports Card Nonsense, and I get what he's saying, about wanting to return service levels back to those, for the set collectors. But I mean, if you look at the reality of it, the mathematics don't really work very well for that kind of a model. You'd almost have to have some sort of like, for those kind of cards, like, almost like a 2-year service or something to get them down to like $20, $15, and I just don't believe PSA is going to generate a giant backlog to prevent their $100 and $200 grading order so they can grade, 85 tops commons. That's just, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I just don't, if someone wants to pay $30, $40, whatever the minimum grade cost is going to be to grade a card nowadays to grade 85, they'll do it. But obviously, it's going to deter a huge amount of people from sending cards like this in. So, in my opinion, I'm just getting them now because I know that, they may not be rare, but they'll eventually be harder to get, and they may not be $3 or $4. So, it's just kind of like getting it now type thing. Now, here's two cards I picked up. I mentioned that my Derek Jeter collection is kind of officially kicked off. So, these two are solid contenders for some of the better cards that I have in that collection. So, the first one is one of the best inserts, I think, in the 90s. I just think because they were very underrated in the 90s. And then people really picked up on them now. And it's the Rave insert from 97 circa. So it's a grade an 8, which, again, I don't care too much about the grades on these sets. If you look at my Griffey video, I talk about that quite a bit. I want, especially for the rare inserts, if it's an 8 or above, that's all I need. I don't need everything to be PSA 10. You can see the color on that kind of purplish color there on that Jeter. And then obviously these are all numbered. So if you look on the back here, you'll see we are number 98 of 150, which is awesome. One of the better, looking insert sets, I think, anyway. I mean, I think they look really cool. I know they're just a parallel. I mean, most people would just say like it's kind of a not the best, inserts, but they were so underrated. Like when this set hit, nobody really liked this set because it was so basic, but the inserts were hard to get. And so I do feel like they snuck up on people, and now I think they've turned into some of the better parallel sets of the 90s. And obviously this is, and numbered out of 150 really helps to actually have numbered, parallels, because that wasn't common. Refractors aren't numbered. At least the base ones aren't. And it wasn't until later on that you start seeing numbered, refractors. Well, this was a 97 number card, and it's just, I love it. And I'm always gonna love the Rave. So like, you'll never convince me that the Raves aren't a cool set. And then speaking of refractors, here is the 98 Topps Chrome, and the way years go. Chrome or finest in the 90s, it just depended on the year and how they did the sets. So in 98, I believe the Chrome set is actually cooler than the finest set in 98. It just depends. 97 finest is some of the coolest sets ever made. So you're just not going to beat it. But, in a lot of years, when Topps Chrome came along and finest was out there, the same years, in the 90s, it was, some sets are tough, like which one is better. But I think clearly in 98, it is the Topps Chrome set. Clearly in 97, it's not. And I even say in 96, it's finest still. And then in 99, it's Chrome all the way, I think. So this set kind of overtook finest in terms of importance in the refractors. And these early refractors still pop off. And again, it's a PSA 8. But, I'm a very big believer in these 90s inserts are going to be, again, following somewhat how Jordan's doing in basketball. They're going to go up. And, Griffey's taking off. There's no reason you won't see, Jeter be like the Kobe, the next guy to go up, or LeBron. So I do think the Jeter is pretty cool, and undervalued for what his prices are right now, because these are much lower than what the Griffies are selling for. And I do think that the New York connection and just how popular Jeter is will make these cards go up. So next up, obviously, if you've ever tuned into this channel, you know that if I clicked comic book video, you're going to see Alex Schomburg cover. This is actually a good crossover for me because I don't know if you've heard me say it a lot, but I do have a collection of Native American comic books my family's Native American. I'm from Oklahoma originally, and so my family's Cherokee. And so I've collected Native American themed covers from the Golden Age. And so this is a huge crossover with Schomburg doing a Western cover. His Western covers and Western covers in general are just not worth as much as superhero covers. And so, this is a very, I think it's a nice copy of this book, but it's super cheap compared even if this was a thrilling comics with a crappy superhero on the cover, not even Black Terror, like the Fighting Yank, which is, in my opinion, kind of mediocre for a superhero. Um, and like, but this book pales in comparison to even like the Fighting Yank. And you can tell it's Schomburg, and it's definitely in that time period where he was crossing over from doing the crazy covers to doing the airbrush covers. The one thing I like is this Native American, this Indian kind of poking out on the side. Yeah. Just kind of like, Schomburg does that kind of little things where he'll, you know, add a little bit of extra touch to the covers, even when you don't really need them. So, Billy West, number 8, not an expensive book, but I just love anything to do with Schomburg. So, you know, definitely one of the obscure but cool books. And then the next one is Just Because. Just Because. It's gonna be tough with my light here, but it is a 9.8, and this is a tough book to kind of explain. But it is a Scorpion Comics, Virgin Foil, Del Auto, Disney Comics and Stories number 13, and it's kind of like, this Virgin variant with the gold. You can kind of see it shining on the gold buttons, and it's just a cool book. I like variant covers, and it's the dumbest thing to invest in, but I do it, and I'll keep doing it. And I have a huge collection of Amazing Spider-Man variants, some of the really good ones. So yeah, I'll keep doing it. I like it, and this is one of my favorite authors. I like Delato, and even though he got in trouble for some, I guess, using photos to kind of trace some of his artwork. Supposedly, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, using a reference and tracing is two really big different things. So I don't know exactly how that came out, but some folks were upset. But I like his art. He does some really unique things, and in my opinion, and it's just a fun book. I mean, I collect variants because they're fun. If they're really fun variants, I'll buy them, even if they're from series that I don't like. I think I bought a Calvin and Hobbes variant for one book, but just because I like Calvin and Hobbes. So it's like, I'm not very analytical about my variant cover buying. All right, and last but certainly not least is what I picked up in the Raw today. So I'm very excited about this book. It was something I've been looking for a while, and I knew where it was. I knew this book existed, and it's a wall book at a store. It was priced. I did a lot of price comparisons, and I looked up, if I graded it, what would have to grade for me to lose money, and that kind of thing. And so I pulled the trigger on Batman Adventures number 12, first Harley Quinn. I think it's really nice book. It's got a little thing here. See right there, a little bit of a thing right there. It's the only real tick. It's got a little bit of a spine roll, but first Harley Quinn. Yeah, I think this book's always going to be a big book, and it's great to pick it up in the wild today. Picking books up like this in the wild is tough. It's hard to pull the trigger on a wild book when you really have to look at things real closely. So I'm excited. I got it. I've had it twice before Raw that I graded into 9.6s, sold them both. So now I'm just going to keep it and just put it in the collection. So that's really the end of the video. After this, I've got some other videos planned. I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the channel. So I've got something planned for that, and then I've got a video coming up about my modern football collection. I'm getting ready to kind of put together for this year's, that I have put together for this year's football season. And I've been working on it, and I feel like it's in a good spot. I just kind of show you what I've been putting in that collection. Then I've got my Marvel Part 2 of my Marvel CGC comic book collection. I've got the unboxing video coming up on my check out my cards, 155 card unboxing from what they're sending me from Upper Deck EPAC. That's coming up. A lot of cool stuff there. And then I've got a PSA kind of response video to the recent announcement of them and Golden Auctions merging, or they bought Golden Auctions, and I got a pretty strong opinion about that. So that's the video. Hope you guys had a good weekend. This is 4th of July weekend. We're recording this, so hopefully you had a safe and fun time, and have fun on the 4th coming up, and hope you guys had a great day. Bye.